I teach CEOs of major corporations how to master the American accent. And the number one complaint I get from most of them is, I'm not understood. My accent holds me back and I'm unable to express what I really want to say. Good job for acknowledging that, because a lot of listeners have problems understanding. And they're not going to say, I'm sorry, can you repeat that in front of a large audience? They're just going to nod politely without having your information register in their head. So in this video, we're going to address that issue to make you sound clear and articulate. Hey there, I'm Gabriel from GB Voice Academy, your accent reduction instructor to get you that much closer to mastering the American accent. If you haven't yet, subscribe to my YouTube channel so I could continue making these videos for you for free. Also check out the link to my 5-star best-selling accent reduction course. I have the beginners as well as the advanced. I left the link below. Also check out my other 5-star communication courses to help you master public speaking and other forms of communication. And join my Gabriel 5-star membership program. I left the link below, where I'm currently curating a specific accent reduction course for my Gabriel Superstar members. It's where we're able to communicate with each other so I can customize the lessons to your needs. Now, what people have to understand is that we cannot translate our natural rhythm from our mother tongue into American English. It just doesn't work. A lot of accents have their own rhythm. If you look at a simple phrase like, I'm going to the store to buy some milk, the Indian rhythm is da-dee-dee-dee, da-dee-dee-dee, da-dee-dee. I'm going to the store to buy some milk. The Chinese rhythm tends to be a little choppy. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to the store to buy some milk. The Spanish rhythm tends to be a little more sing-songy. I'm going to the store to buy some milk. There's nothing wrong with it. These are beautiful melodies of very diverse accents. But American rhythm is very specific. And there's a specific exercise that I'm going to teach you on how to master that. And stick around to the end of this video, because I'm going to be implementing this into an actual contemporary dialogue that's going to help you keep that information in your head so you don't forget it. So the majority of these rhythms, whether it's Spanish, Italian, French, Indian, whatever, they all tend to be faster paced. Whereas a good American accent, because I teach American accent, but then there's good American accent, meaning I teach it with a little more sophistication. I use great examples of people like Orson Welles or Barack Obama, people who have solid rhythm that not only makes you sound American, but it makes you sound more intellectual, more engaged. What is the number one thing that all great speakers have is they take their time. And here's a little anecdote I always tell my clients. You have to think of it like eating. What does your mother always say when you're eating? Don't eat so fast. Enjoy your food. A lot of times we're in a rush. We just grab, we eat, and we move on. We don't even know what we're eating. But if you were to sit down with your family and you take your time and you pay attention to what you're eating, you savor it, what happens? You're able to enjoy your food. You're able to digest it better. Less heartburn. Well, the same thing goes when we're talking, when there's dialogue. If we take our time and digest each word, when we are experiencing those words, the audience will experience tenfold. But if we're just eating it and throwing it away, the audience won't even bother. I say this before and I say it again. We need to start high and work our way down, eating. Remember that I was talking about eating? Certain words. Refreshing and going back up, and then continuing your rhythm down. Now, how do we do that? We read literature. Now, I'm talking contemporary literature. I'm talking more sort of turn of the century, Oscar Wilde, a lot of these wonderful authors that I suggest on these videos. So why don't we do this? I'm going to read a bit of an example of a story, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by eating those words with that American rhythm, emphasizing pauses, which is something we forget to do. We forget to even breathe sometimes, and how much more effective it is. And at the end of the video, we're going to use this in a contemporary dialogue so you can see how it's processed. Here we have a story called Androculus and the Lion by James Baldwin. Now, I'll read the first part. In Rome, there was once a poor slave whose name was Androculus. See how much time I took to say that? In Rome, there once was a poor slave whose name was Androculus. Or Chinese, in Rome, there once was a poor slave whose name was Androculus. Or Spanish, in Rome, there was once a poor slave whose name was Androculus. Again, that rhythm doesn't fit. Versus taking your time to eat those words. In Rome, there once was a poor slave whose name was Andronicus. See how much time I took to say that? The thing that happens in our mind is that we're like, no, you shouldn't take so much time because we have to get moving. We're always on the go. But good speakers never do that. It makes you sound more confident, like you are owning your space and your time. Moving on. His master was a cruel man, and so unkind to him that at last Andronicus ran away. See how I shifted based on what I was saying. His master was what? A cruel man. I went down on that. If he was a kind man, his master was a very kind man. I would have gone up. My read would match what I'm saying. Cruel man, happy man. You have to be able to let the dialogue dictate how and where you go. And so unkind. Again, further down to him, that at last Andronicus ran away. Ran away. You could hear the person running away in the way I'm saying it. Versus he ran away. You're just saying it. There's no intention behind what you're saying. Match intention with how you're saying it. He hid himself in a wild wood for many days. What kind of wood? Wild. You see how I said wild? I vocalized how wild would feel and sound. You have to imagine you're speaking to somebody who can't see, who could only hear. Your job is to make them see through your voice. How do you do that? Okay, yeah, you're asking me to be an actor. Do I have to be an Academy Award actor to do it? No, not at all. You close your eyes and think wild wood. What do you think? Wild wood. Ooh, sounds scary. I can see bears and mountain lions. It's wild. You don't have to be a master actor to be able to do that. He hid himself in a wild wood for many days. Many days. I'm not saying many days. I'm feeling it. Many days. But there was no food to be found. No food. How do we feel when we think no food? Oh my God, desperation. No food to be found. Now you're probably wondering, well, this is a bit extreme. I can't be at a Zoom meeting and going, and the data does not fit into the No, but you're going to see what I mean by how we could implement this in a regular dialogue later on. We go extreme here to get to that level we need to get to when we talk more contemporary. So stick around and we'll implement it. And he grew so weak and sick that he thought he should die. You could feel the sickness and the desperation and the fear of death. So one day he crept into a cave and lay down. Okay, I'm taking my time. If I were to read this in my time versus a person with an accent would read it, they'd be done in a matter of half a minute. It would take me probably triple the amount because I'm taking my time. So one day he crept into a cave and lay down. And soon he was fast asleep. So you have to let what you're saying affect you. The dialogue is right there. It's right in front of you. You have to let what you say affect your heart, then speak. Because that is going to force you to slow down and it's going to make the audience engage with you so much more. Even the way I'm talking now, I'm taking my time. And even if you have a very thick accent, if you take your time, it gives the listener the opportunity to be able to digest what you're saying and interpret what you're saying. So now let's implement that into, for example, let's say it's a Zoom call between a boss and some subordinates. So let's see if we can incorporate what we learned in that ancient story in a everyday contemporary speech. All right, team, listen up. We got 3 days to pull this launch together. I took my time. Listen. Okay, team, listen up. Just by pausing and dropping that key word, listen up, all of a sudden, the listeners are like, oh, well, okay, this is important, guys. Let's really focus in on here. The boss is talking. Versus, all right, team, listen up. That doesn't really grab attention. That just sounds like, okay, he's just trying to rile people together to put their coffee down, to stop scrolling and pay attention. Versus, all right, team, listen up. And the more I have the pause, the more dramatic it sounds. Listen, all right, team, listen up. See what I mean? And it's just a pause. Use the pauses. We've got 3 days to pull this launch together. How many days? 3. Is it important? Is it a deadline that we have to meet? Good. Then if it is, then we need to emphasize it more. And we've got 3 days to pull this launch together. If it wasn't important, okay, guys, we have 3 days to pull this launch together. Not important. Your subordinates on Zoom will continue drinking their coffee and playing with their cat. Versus isolating those important words, dropping them with pauses. And I want no surprises. No surprises. Okay, he's coming across as an intense boss. I get it. But for the purposes of our lesson, you see what I'm saying? If it was more casual, all right, team, listen up. Okay, we got 3 days to pull this together and I want no surprises. We could do that too. But that sounds like it's more relaxed, more kind of, it's okay, we're just working as a team. And that's its own intention. Everything has its own intention. But I'm giving you the version of this is important. We're not improvising, we're executing. Big pause on after improvising. We're not improvising, we're executing. See what I mean? Okay, got it. What's your main focus? Two things: visibility and consistency. I'm putting emphasis on consistency because in my interpretation, consistency is important because this guy Leo here always has a tendency of being all over the place. So I want to land consistency. Okay, that was my interpretation. You have your own. Marketing pushes the story. Sales closes the loop. No mixed messages. We're one voice, one brand. That's where the positivity comes in. This is the intention, ultimately, of this boss. We're one voice and one brand. And if the client changes direction again, then we pivot. Fast, clean, no drama. Pause, pause, pause. I want solutions, not size. We're professionals, not poets. We have to learn how to rein back those horses and take your time. And that's going to help you not only be more understood, but it's also going to help you identify the mispronunciation of the words, which you learn here on this channel by looking at my videos and doing my course on how to master these American sounds. Everything is helping each other to get you that much closer to mastering the American accents.